Welcome back, stackers. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. Folks, what's going on is horrible. We're going to be talking about some heavy stuff just because it involves silver. What's going on is honestly, it's disgusting. I hate talking about it. I hate hearing about it. Andy Scheckman dove deep into this in our podcast. I shut down for about 5 minutes. Yeah, I just was out of it because, we're talking about some graphic, disgusting stuff. Right now, people hopefully are turning towards precious metals as there is no solution. There's no solution. There's only an alternative, which is precious metals, safe haven investments. And as more people turn towards those, of course, that's going to affect the price. So here is an article titled Silver Price Forecast, Silver Rides Geopolitical Waves Amid Israel-Hamas Conflict. And I think that this is going to be a reoccurring theme as things get, unfortunately, worse. So you got to be prepared. This is not a time to just be blindly investing, sitting on your couch, not paying attention to what's happening. You got to stay up to date. You don't have to read all the graphic stuff, the details, but when we're talking about precious metals, you do got to see how it's affecting the price, why it's affecting the price, looking at all of this stuff. It's very important, and you could do that here. Just subscribe, and I'll give you the newest, latest information. We have a couple articles I want to cover. This one is titled Why Investors Should Be Patient with Commodities. And this is the one we're going to break down where it's going over, the geopolitical stuff. And if you guys want to, leave a comment or leave a like, I'd appreciate it. Just be respectful. Here's some of the highlights. Silver fluctuates on Israel-Hamas conflict. U.S. monetary policy also sways prices. Short-term forecast leans bullish. So safe haven in turbulent times. Silver's price witnessed a roller coaster ride as the situation escalated and investors eyed geopolitical developments along with U.S. monetary policy. I'll say this time and time again. I don't understand why it takes something like this for people to finally realize, have that aha moment to say, hey, I should put my money into something that is protected by itself. I'm in complete control of my wealth. Why does it take a bank to fail? Silicon Valley Bank is what a lot of people will train. Why does it take something like this? Why not prepare beforehand instead of wait till after the aftermath? That makes no sense. You're reacting. Silver retreated as traders engaged in technical selling off and profit taking. The metal had surged 4%, registering its first weekly gain in 3 weeks, driven primarily by investors flocking to safe haven assets amid heightened Middle East tensions. So here are some of the key points and geopolitical factors. The spotlight remains on silver as traders consider it an asset to park money during geopolitical uncertainties. Prices had broken above the significant $22 ceiling and are now expected to retest the resistance at $23.78 an ounce if Middle East tensions continue to escalate. A dip to $21.75 could provide a lucrative entry point, but bears should exercise caution. Ground operations by Israeli forces add another layer of volatility, fueling more inflows into safe haven assets like silver. I think we're going to see a lot of attention on precious metals, even gold, especially gold actually, since, gold is a very safe way to go. I never want to tell people to just invest into silver. Silver has more opportunity given its industrial, the industrial side of things, but gold is still a very steady, safe way to put your money in something that holds its value during times like this. In addition to geopolitical factors, U.S. monetary policy is also influencing silver prices. Despite a rise in consumer prices, expectations remain high that the Federal Reserve will keep interest rates steady, lending additional support to the zero-yield asset. Investors are keenly waiting for Federal Chairman Jerome Powell, his upcoming speech, balancing it against developments in the Middle East conflict. That's a really important thing because Every time, there's an FOMC meeting or Federal Chairman Jerome Powell comes out and says XYZ about rate hikes and all that, a lot of people get very, very anxious. They start speculating. They start, they start assuming that he's going to say something, and they invest off of this perception that is most times wrong, and that then affects the markets, and the markets will then correct after he says what he does. So beforehand, the markets are going to be very volatile and crazy, and then afterwards, after people get the information, then the markets do what it does. But even then, he's still speculating. He's going to say, we expect by the year 2024, or we hope for, something along those lines. So it's never really an honest price. It's all speculative, it doesn't make sense. Since silver is tangible, it should be based off the fundamentals like supply and demand. Here is the balancing act of risks. So investors have been walking on a tightrope, keeping one eye on the Middle East and another on U.S. monetary policy. The Israel-Hamas conflict threatens to involve other nations, which could further impact financial markets and boost safe haven assets. U.S. President Joe Biden's stance on eliminating Hamas adds another layer of complexity, intensifying investor focus on geopolitical risks. And that's another, like Andy Schechtman said in our podcast, it's like the stars are aligning. And that's a terrible way to put it, but when you're looking at it realistically, the bigger picture, everything is falling into place that points towards higher silver prices. Like everything. Even without this conflict, even without, Ukraine and Russia, even without COVID, silver would still be the best option because of failing dollar, a failing monetary system. But add all of these different things, it's just insane. And also, like Andy was saying, by the way, you should check out that podcast. It's amazing. He was mentioning how back in the day, things would happen once a year, maybe once every several months. And nowadays, it's every single day. Things are intensifying at extreme rates, almost unbelievable rates. And that's scary. We're living in very, very interesting times. And we got to be prepared. Don't wait for the aftermath to act. Here's the short-term forecast, which is bullish. In short-term, silver appears set on a bullish trajectory. So, and this is, with the speculation over the Fed's next move are likely to keep silver in traders' crosshairs, like I was just mentioning. And should these tensions escalate further, silver could aim for the $26 mark, offering both risk and reward in an increasingly volatile market. I do want to read this section, how commodities could turn around in 2024. Some strategists expect commodity prices to move higher in 2024. The commodity supercycle bull continues to march on. And that's from John LaForge, head of real asset strategy at Wells Fargo. So this guy, Hovnasian, on the other hand, says it's difficult to predict commodity cycles, but that the fund should recover when the Fed begins to cut interest rates. When the interest cycle or the interest rate cycle turns, he says you should see some payback. Commodities can be volatile assets at times, especially silver. But a small stake in this fund as part of a broad portfolio can help hedge inflation and boost diversification. On the latter aim, the fund didn't disappoint in 2022. It gained 13% as both stocks and bonds posted double-digit declines. Yeah, I do like how he said that you can't. This guy, the second guy, where's his name? This guy. It's difficult to predict commodity cycle because especially nowadays, there's so many unknown variables. Like next week, there's going to be 25 different things that happen that we could have never predicted. So anyone who's throwing out a forecast or prediction, take that with a grain of salt, because there's going to be so many different things that are happening that's going to affect the price of silver. But I can tell you one thing, all of the things that are happening are pushing silver to the bullish side. And that's, for the next several decades, unfortunately. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. I wanted to just cover this stuff because this is the new stuff that's going on. We have, the FOMC meeting, Federal Chairman Jerome Powell. This is intertwining with the geopolitical stuff, so it's looking like silver will be pretty bullish in the short term. And obviously, the bigger picture is where I stand, the next 5-10 years, as I don't plan on selling for the next 10-15 years. So why in the world would I want the price to go higher right now? I don't need validation that silver can go higher. I know it can, and it has, and it's definitely going to push past those limits that it previously hit. $50 in 1980 and 2011, because things are much more severe. The dollar's at a different point, the world's at a different point, and silver's at a different point with the shortage. So yeah, anyways, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you go enter my giveaway. I'm doing a giveaway as we approach 100,000 subscribers. Everyone go subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. Subscribe on your second channel. Spread this channel. Let's push towards 100K. And also, if you wanted to purchase silver, send an email to info@milesfranklin.com. Andy Schechtman is the CEO. He will hook you up. New deals every Monday. Today's Monday. Will, depending on when you watch this video or depending when I put it out, new deals will be out by the time you're watching this video. So go send the email, info@milesfranklin.com, and let them know Silver Slayer sent you. Ask what the deals are. They'll hook you up. Great company, very respected. And I'm honored to be able to offer you guys a partnership with them. So anyways, thanks for tuning in to Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.